Bombshell claims about Hunter Biden's business deals from his former best bud and business partner, and they are now out in a 141-page transcript of the House Oversight Committee's closed-door interview with Devon Archer. The panel released the documents last week, just days after hearing from Archer. He told lawmakers Hunter sold the Biden brand and put his father, then vice president, on the phone numerous times with the business associates. Joining me now is South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry, who serves on the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thank you for being here today. So let's just sum up what we now know. Ultimately, Devon Archer says, look, Hunter Biden was working with him for a decade. Hunter makes $83,000 a month from Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company. We now know he was getting that money, according to Archer, selling the family brand, which in this case was the Biden name. And in that case, Archer says that that name was enough to keep Burisma in business. He thinks that Burisma would have been completely out of business if it weren't for that. The Wall Street Journal summed up it this way, quote, it says, it's one thing to develop relationships in office that turn into business opportunities later, the way Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, did in the Middle East. It's another to leverage the office while in office to promote the family business. As Mr. Archer said, the advantage of the Biden brand is that legally people would be intimidated to mess with them. Congressman Fry, what was your ultimate takeaway from that, from Devon Archer's testimony, and what do you make of what the Wall Street Journal said there?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I think the biggest takeaway is that Joe Biden seems to be the closer for Hunter Biden and his business associates in every which way. Of course, they've denied it for years, all the way back to the 2020 campaign. But Joe Biden would come in and meet with Russian oligarchs and Chinese businessmen. And then the next day, Hunter Biden would receive a payment. And it continues this pattern, this very disturbing pattern that the Devon Archer testimony summed up pretty well, which was he was the brand. They were the brand. They were the protection for anything that could go wrong on the world stage with these investments.
Now, Devon Archer, though, he said that he knows of no evidence at all that President Joe Biden, then Vice President Biden, received any bribery or payments. And he also said that he has no evidence that President Biden, then Vice President Biden, steered any policy decisions based on his relationship with Hunter.
Well, I'm not sure that I truly believe that part, because we've seen Joe Biden on tape talking about getting the prosecutor in Ukraine fired for his involvement. And so there's a lot of steps that lead up to that. I think there was a meeting in the testimony that talked about that they were in Dubai, that Hunter was asked by Burisma executives to make a call to Washington, D.C. And again, I think this kind of paints a picture that they were selling access, they were selling influence. And, for a man who had no business being on a board of an energy company, that access was important to Burisma at the time, for sure.
So I need to ask you here, the House Speaker, Michael McCarthy, says that this is all rising to the level of an impeachment inquiry. Do you believe that?
I think we do, especially after this testimony. Look, $460 million of Chinese Communist Party money was used to purchase a facial recognition company in the United States. It kind of bypassed some of the tripwires, it looks like. So these things are deeply disturbing, especially with what we're seeing on the world stage, not only in the Ukrainian theater, but certainly in the Indo-Pacific region as well.
I misspoke. Obviously, Kevin McCarthy is the House Speaker. Democratic Congressman Jake Auchincloss had this to say on Fox News Sunday about Devon Archer's testimony. Listen.
What we saw from the Archer testimony was a very unflattering portrait of Hunter Biden's judgment and business dealings, but no material involvement from Joe Biden himself. Again, no material involvement from Joe Biden himself. It is smoke, it is smoke, it is smoke that the Republicans are trying to gin up, and yet no fire. And they're desperately trying to redirect Americans' attention away from the most important indictment in American history, which is Donald Trump's.
Congressman Fry, what's your response?
Well, I think, the exasperation in his voice says everything you need to know. Look, for months, they've been denying. I mean, they said bank records would show nothing but pizza, Papa John's receipts, and Starbucks. That's proven to be a lie. Joe Biden himself said that he never talked with any of the businesses or never talked to his son about the businesses or met with executives from other countries or that his family ever received money. Those have all been proven to be a lie. So I'm not surprised that the Democrats are a little bit worried right now, and they're trying to murky the waters. But what's becoming very clear to not only the Republicans in the House, but the American people, the type of family that we're dealing with and the businesses in which they had.
So what's next for your committee here? What can we expect?
Well, I think the big mission is let the facts dictate where you go. That's what you do in a court. That's what you do in anything. We're going to continue to delve into this, to interview key witnesses, to look at bank records that we're continuing to get. Look, we've done more in 6 months than law enforcement has done in 6 years, and despite that, we've been showing this transparently to the American people. So we're going to continue to let the facts dictate where we go. We're going to continue to investigate, and I think that's what the American people expect, that we cross our T's, that we dot our I's, and we make sure that we get the true answers for the American people.
Quickly, your colleague, Congressman Chip Roy, said that he was willing to hold back funding from DOJ because he says this is all indicative of a two-tier justice system, the fact that they are indicting the former president, Donald Trump, and essentially taking their time, sweetheart deals with all that with Hunter Biden. What do you make of that?
Well, I think Mr. Roy is exactly right. We have, a two-tier system of justice in this country. President Trump tweets something or sends something out, and they immediately file motions with the court. Bill Barr talked about this the other day. The speed and the recklessness at which the Attorney General and his office are going after President Trump compared to the really lenient cakewalk that they seem to be giving to Hunter Biden. I think we need to have a real investigation into that. And I think Congress needs to start just generally clawing back their authority. These agencies have been out of control for decades, and to allow them to continue to operate despite Congress and in spite of Congress, I think is really not who we are as a people. It's not what our republic is about. So we need to start clawing back that authority from these agencies that have gone off the reservation.
Okay, South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.